My name is Sarah Rather. I'm a nationally certified counselor and mental health counselor here at Forward Counseling. I really like to work with college students, young adults, people coming into college, out of college, emerging adulthood. That's kind of my population I really like to work with. I also like to work with people that are in their 30s, 40s, and just kind of in different life transitions. 3 words that my closest friends would use to describe me are honest, funny, I hope, and communicative, because I really am one to say what I'm thinking and what's going on for me. I really like to work with issues involving trauma, grief, transitions, relationship issues, phases of life, really anything that might present a challenge to someone. I really like to have an eclectic approach with all of my clients. I am existential by nature. I really like to ask the big questions that don't really have an answer. I also really like a constructivist approach, which means that each person has their own way of viewing the world based on what they've been through. Sprinkled in there is a good amount of CBT, so understanding the relationship between thoughts, feelings, behaviors. That really is a really great entry point to most stuff that people run through. The best book I've read in the past year was a fiction book called I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It was a book written from the perspective of a person who really doesn't exist. And for me, it was a really interesting read for my therapist brain because it gave me insight into a delusion that someone was creating out of a mental health crisis. So it was an interesting read, not only because it was entertaining, but also because my therapist brain really saw the effects that trauma can have on someone. I'm a therapist who sees a therapist. I really believe in the work because there was a time in my life where I really could have used one. I see my therapist weekly and it really keeps me on track. When I was a teenager, things in my life changed pretty dramatically, very quickly. I didn't really have a space where I could just go exist, and that's really what I needed. So that's what I really try to bring to all of my sessions with my clients, is just a space to exist and talk about what they need to talk about. I value honesty, communication, authenticity, humor, realness, and I also really value the idea that we as humans just need to grow, and we also really need safe and authentic places for us to do that growing. Before working with me as a therapist, I think my clients should know that sometimes I'm slow to speak, but that doesn't mean that I'm not listening or that I don't understand you. It just means that I'm really trying to process what you're saying and what is up for you so that I can get a clear picture of what's going on. I wanted to work at Forward Counseling because Forward Counseling seemed like a great place for me to grow and learn, not only as a professional, but as a fellow human. I'm a human first, therapist second, and Forward was a really great place that allowed me to pursue my interests professionally, but also pursue my interests personally, and it's been a great fit. Something I do in the morning that gets my day started off right is a hot shower and a cold cup of coffee. These things really wake me up, they get my day going, and I found that a routine really helps me get my mind right for the day ahead. If I don't have my hot shower and cold cup of coffee, my brain really isn't ready to get the day started. And sometimes our brain just needs a jump start or a click of the switch to say hey, it's today. I'm a big believer that if we don't say it, we store it. If it doesn't get out of our bodies or out of our minds, we just hold it up, and over time, that gets really heavy. I think counseling is a great place to get out what's going on and really helps you take some of the stuff out of that baggage that sometimes we find ourselves carrying around. I believe that when our hearts are the most open, we can really receive laughter. I've had sessions where I've been sitting with clients, and sometimes to take the edge off, we just both crack a joke or we both just start laughing. I found that it really softens the space and makes talking about tough subjects not as scary. I'm a therapist who believes in the power of a good laugh, a good smile, and humor. I really do all I can to create a warm and positive, inviting environment for my clients to sit in.